Something
How
about.
will I know?
Dun, 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 dun.
Key change. How will I know if
No, see,
he
that's the
really loves
problem.
me? No, she goes up. That's correct.
No, the problem is y'all sopranos always trying to change keys inappropriately. I was okay with A flat or whatever key that was.
Listen,
I'm saying.
can we just discuss for a hot second that Method Man is proof that black men age very well under the right set of
Man,
circumstances? Method Man.
and not common,
No,
not
no,
like
no, no,
can you just
no.
go down the list?
Listen, 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 listen. Because I was watching the "You're All I Need to Get By," and I happened to glance and be like, oh, "Okay, but Method Man wasn't on my radar back then. He wasn't. But Method Man now,
You officially old.
have you seen him?
Yeah, he looks like Method Man. Method Man was always like decent looking and appropriate and for the eyes.
Cause baby,
Wait, now I'm gonna have to look.
just recent pictures of him. He's been on social media and he's really like into health and he's like I think he's vegetarian or vegan or something and he like works out and he was showing different people his workout routine and I actually stumbled upon it. It was just like a oh kind of a thing. Like, oh, okay. Hello, Method Man.
Girl, he looks regular. You just woke.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Method Man looks like Method Man. I
Fine
think you're just used to
wine.
him. What?
Fine wine. Black man, fine wine.
You know,
Period.
healthy
Period.
hashtag healthy people fine wine.
I said what I said.
Yes, I remember being little and daddy being like, I'd say, oh, daddy, and ask him some random question of something. And he'd be like, look it up. And that meant either going to get a dictionary off the shelf or the Encyclopedia Britannica that they spent
we
money
didn't
on.
even have so we didn't have Britannica. We had like the
We didn't
offshoot
have the
version.
offshoot. It worked.
Those encyclopedias were the bomb. But you
It
realize
worked.
how I realized when I got older
Mm.
how what a waste of money buying a set of encyclopedias were.
No, no, no.
Because
Back then, it wasn't a waste.
well, no, not technically, unless something like if your encyclopedia stopped in like 87 and then you had like a massive something happen in like 89, 90, your encyclopedias were useless. Like, can you
Yeah, they were.
imagine having encyclopedias in 2000 and then 9/11 happened and those aren't even in the books? Like, we did good to incorporate technology into the information. The World Wide Web has helped us.
It has helped us. No, no lie. So it made me think when you said Method Man. I mean, just 20, 25 years ago, I would not have been able to like instantaneously get updated on his current vegan physique. I would have to wait to, see if he's going to be on TV or something.
Mm-hmm.
And now
Mm-hmm.
it's just a matter of
It's turned into a bit of an extension for us, I think.
it's turning into a bit of an addiction for people, and they just don't want to admit it.
I mean, yeah. I was gonna try and come up with some sort of counter argument, but yeah, no, it is. I think because we have become like I remember I actually didn't get a cell phone until I was 20 years old.
Mhm.
It was a Nokia. I don't know if that's actually Nokia.
Mhm.
That's when text messages cost like 99 cents a text to send out.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because my parents at the time, because I was in college, and they liked the idea of me having a cell phone, and so they were just like, "We'll take care of the bill because you're in college." And
Oh.
at one point, Daddy called me. He was just like, "Please stop texting PJ."
Oh.
Because that regular bill, and back then cell phone bills were kind of high, and you maybe got coverage,
You maybe got
but
covered.
but them text messages was like $1 a pop, man. And then you had to pay for daytime minutes, so everybody was waiting to get to 9 o'clock, so it was free, or on the weekends. Because once that Sunday or Monday morning midnight, that was it. Like, you was done.
You
And
wouldn't
so
get
I think I'd run up a cell phone bill to almost like 90 some odd dollars through just texting. So
Oh,
and that
no.
was when you had to like do the one, two, 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 two.
You didn't have the
So
credit thing.
I just need everybody to appreciate that I was able to run up a bill that high with one, 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 two, 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 one, 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 two, 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 space, one, 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 two, two, two. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's
That's
amazing.
incredible to
I
me.
don't understand why you just didn't call because I don't know. I just feel like in my spirit that may have been cheaper and way more convenient and less time consuming. I don't know. Maybe it's
It
me.
would have been. You're absolutely correct. I don't know why either.
Let me tell
But
you something.
even too, like, people who know me, like, know that even then, and very much now,
Very.
if it was a choice between a phone call and a text message, you don't get that text.
I remember my first cell phone.
I remember your first cell phone.
Let me tell you, when
Tell the people.
I think about my first cell phone,
Wait,
I
I'm looking around because I don't think I have anything big enough.
wait, don't put it up there yet. I think I now think about how ridiculous. Wait, I have something.
You do. You got to get it. Like, I'm legitimately not going to edit this part out. You got to get it. That is exactly what size it was.
Let me tell you something. I remember,
That was
first
the
of
size.
all, I just want to thank my dad. My parents at the time felt that because I was driving back and forth from Huntsville in my Ford Tempo that I purchased for $3,000 from my cousin. Thank you, cousin. They felt that I needed a way to contact them, so they wanted
And
to,
you got in trouble, yeah.
yeah, get the most powerful phone that could help, especially between, I'm in between cities and, and it worked. It had great coverage actually, but it was one of those corporate bag phones.
Yeah, and it was like $300 a call.
But it was made, I think, for, corporate America. It was made for the phone, for the car. But I remember vividly walking in Madison Square Mall with that thing on my shoulder and
Because
somebody
you were
called.
proud.
Somebody called and I straight picked up that corded phone, walking in the mall with that little strap like,
Oh,
I just got my new phone because my other phone broke.
yes,
And
I was there for that whole painful several weeks.
it was painful because number one, it takes me a minute to make decisions.
Yes,
When
in
I'm
everything, not
driving,
just phones.
that was shade.
Yes,
I
it was.
appreciate that shade. But I went ahead and got the new phone. And it's amazing. This is not a phone anymore. They don't even market these as phones. They're not phones. They don't say anything about the quality of the call, like none of that. That's not important anymore.
I mean,
And
because that's up to your provider. Like you can have a phenomenal phone and your provider be trash, and it don't matter. You can get to the edge of your neighborhood and drop a call on your $9 million phone, so it doesn't matter.
it doesn't
The phone,
matter.
nobody cares about because at the end of the day, too, my whole thing is like, what do the text messages look like? That's just me. For a creative like me, I need it to be a tiny computer.
How long can your phone sit on your dresser without you touching it or nightstand?
I mean, in my sleep. Let me just put it all
Um,
on Front Street. Not very long. My phone does everything for me. And that being said, this is just so like first world stuff.
this
Once I got my
episode,
watch,
this whole
right?
episode is first world. Go
Like,
ahead.
we're way too far in. After I got my watch, I picked my phone up less because everything, because of the phone and the watch are connected, everything comes to the watch. So if I'm at home, I'm less likely to have it in my hand.
But you're
Mind you, I said less likely. I didn't say I wouldn't. I said
no,
less
no.
likely.
How long can you leave your watch on the charger and your phone on the nightstand and you are awake?
I have done it.
How long?
I've gone a good like 4 hours awake. The problem with that is I have cultivated a culture of instantly answering text messages or instantly answering emails because one or the other is on me. That if I go that long silent, I get panicked text messages from my sister talking about how come you haven't answered a text message. So, so like my father is calling my husband, like, is everything okay? So that is something that I've cultivated that. But
That is trash. You are not about to blame your phone addiction
oh, I
on
will.
me. Oh, you're not. Oh, you're not. You're not gonna. I'm not gonna allow you to blame it
I
because
will say this. I have it on me a lot because it's convenient for me.
do you know they actually have new terminology? Have you heard about the new terminology of the pathology behind phone addiction? They actually have new terms for it. Nomophobia,
Nomophobia. Okay.
the fear of going without your phone.
I don't have a fear of that.
So you've never been somewhere out of your house and be like, "Oh my goodness, did I?"
Let me tell you, but here's what's funny. What drives my fear is I have 4 children and family in the city. There and I
Mm,
watch
mm,
this little tiny therapy session. There was one particular time that I had left my phone at home
mhm.
and I was just like I didn't have a watch, left my phone at home. This was 14 years ago, 15 years ago.
Well,
But I left it at home. It didn't really matter, whatever. And we were sitting, my husband and I and a group of friends were sitting at a restaurant. It was like the afternoon or whatever. And, got a phone call that one of our parents had an episode and had to be rushed to the hospital. And
oh,
by the time I got home, I looked at my phone and realized that people had been trying to get me from like the moment that it happened all the way up until they finally called PJ. And that it was always just like, okay, if I'm leaving the house, I am always going to make sure that I have it on me because I do have that fear. And especially with kids and, I have that fear. If that has a name, I got that.
so nomophobia
But
it is a fear, and
yeah.
it doesn't say that the fear has to be due to a specific etiology or
Oh
it's
no,
not
then
a
I have
fear in the
that. Yeah,
absence of.
I have that because there is a genuine fear that if I don't have my phone on me and I'm gone for hours, that by the time I get home, there would have been a crisis that I missed. But it's only the crisis. Like if it's just, I kind of get irritated if I do have it on me and I have no place to put it and nothing happens. Like,
So let me ask you, there's another thing,
okay.
and it's not, I don't know, it's called phantom vibrations. Have you ever gotten that before? I say phantom vibrations or phantom rings, where you hear a noise or you feel a sensation and you think it's your phone, but it isn't.
I have never gotten that.
You actually may not be addicted.
I've never gotten that. That to me, that's weird. That I mean, no shade because I'm sure somebody deals with that, but
I'm sure
that's
somebody
weird.
does.
That's happened to you? Like
Yeah, but
wow.
it's definitely happened to me. I would say the majority of the time if I'm on call.
I'm gonna say well, that's different though. Like get that feeling, but I
Oh,
don't think that's ever happened. In fact, there
yeah.
have been times where I've been a place and somebody was just like, "Your phone's ringing," and I would have tuned out I tune that out. My phone's on silent all the time, so I don't. I very rarely think I hear ringing.
So I actually can.
Wait, was that?
It was my phone. I know. I was just like, oh no, why is my phone ringing in the middle of?
Oh my gosh, that's Perfect.
So I'm going to give you some questions and you say yay or nay if you want. Okay, so this is telltale signs that you're addicted to the phone.
Okay. Yes.
You reach for your phone the moment you're alone or bored.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Oh, here's the thing though. If I'm at home though, it's my laptop. So I don't know if that's just
Okay, okay.
technology period. But yeah, yeah,
Some
yeah.
sort of technology. Okay. So 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 if it's not specifically if it's technology,
I'm
yeah.
gonna say yeah. No, I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna answer that question. Yes, yes,
So we're talking about the phone. So we'll say for the phone. Okay.
yes.
You wake up multiple times at night to check your phone.
No,
That's not me.
no. That joint goes at 10:45. That joint goes on do not disturb. And if a text message or notification comes through, it is because there is a set list of people that are allowed to break that bubble.
So let me tell you
Of
something. I have more questions, but let me tell you, I am so afraid of putting my phone on do not disturb because I am afraid that somebody who needs to get to me is not on that list. And maybe it's just
call 911.
oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to work through that one.
But the people that know that they can get to me like that know that they can get to me like that.
Am I on that list?
Of course you're.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. Because what I didn't want to do is text you tonight at 10:45 your time and not get a response and be like, but all the people that are watching are going to text you at 10:46 p.m.
Aren't they though?
So you need to go ahead and leave that do not disturb off tonight.
It's staying on. It is staying on. The phone goes do not disturb at 10:45. The watch usually comes off around 11:15.
Do you feel anxious, upset, or short-tempered when you can't get to your phone? Mm-mm.
No, no,
No,
it's
that's
not
enough.
that deep.
Has your phone use caused you to have an accident or an injury? You're supposed to immediately say no.
No, I'm gonna say yes, and I'll tell you what happened. I was pregnant with the twins. I was sitting at a stoplight,
Oh,
and my phone
God.
was ringing. I'm gonna tell you, no, my phone was ringing. It was on the seat next to me, and it was ringing.
Was it
And I
me?
look, huh?
Did I call? Was it me calling?
No, no, it wasn't you. That was the thing. It was not you. Somebody
Uh,
was calling me, and it was something so mundane. But I picked it up, and the light had turned green, and I was easing forward. I was going less than 5 miles an hour, maybe less than that. And the car in front of me had stalled out. It had stopped
oh, okay.
completely, like the engine was off. And so I rear-ended that person. And actually, no, the car in front of the person that I rear-ended had rear-ended the stalled car. There was literal, like very little to no damage on anybody's car.
But there was
The
just contact.
hammer, huh?
There was just contact with the car.
There was contact. I mean, you felt it, right? So we all had to pull into the gas station. The hammer that was in the middle, right? The middle car. She's the one that's just like, I need an ambulance. Like she was
You know
doing
what?
the most. And she was just like, I'm pregnant and this and the other. And she's like, I just found out I'm pregnant. And so, like she was going bananas. And so the officers were trying to deal with her. And it was so this police officer was so sweet. The police officer came around to where I was. He comes up to the window to kind of ask me if I was okay. And he looked down, and this is probably when I was about 5 months with the twins. So I looked like I was 10 months pregnant. And he peeks in the car and he's like, oh dear God, you're pregnant.
Like for real pregnant.
Yeah, like you're really pregnant. I was like, yes, I'm really pregnant. By this time, the ambulance had shown up, and he was trying to convince the ambulance not to deal with the lady that was causing a scene in the parking lot of the gas station, but to actually come over and check me. So what was funny is that the EMTs actually came over to check me first,
Mm-hmm.
which really sent her into a tizzy. But I will say that if I had not looked down to see who was calling, I would not have rear-ended her.
So when my phone broke, I realized I had like 7 email accounts going to that phone. My social media, which I need to look at more often, was on the phone. Like I had all of these accounts, all of these things that once my phone decided that it didn't want to work anymore, I had to figure out how to get access to that stuff again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I felt, I'm embarrassed to say, but I felt like literally helpless.
Here's what's funny is that we kind of have a weird difference because with you, you feel helpless without, having access to those things. With me, I'm actually worse at business because it's really easy for me to ignore emails for days, unless it comes to my phone. And I'll tell
Oh, no, I'm
people,
gonna get to those emails.
no, I have accidentally, and like recently, I've
Mhm.
accidentally missed important emails because I didn't really have my phone on me. I was at the house. I really wasn't paying attention or whatever. And I finally get back to the phone. It's just like, hey, I've been trying to reach you by email, and I'll go back to that email, and it'll be like a legitimate email. It's not like one that I forgot about. Like it's one of my main ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll look and I'll be like, oh snap. And I'll look back through my notifications because I didn't have the phone on me and realize that it did come through like a certain amount of time. So I a lot of times will keep the phone on and will keep the watch on, especially during business hours, because I recognize that if I don't.
So that being said, you recognize the connection that you have with your phone. You hear the
Mm-hmm.
connection I have with my phone. You recognize the connection with, that the inappropriate connection that the world has with their devices, their phone.
Mm-hmm.
Why, Miss Thespian, do you make us turn our
Don't
phone?
you do it. Don't you do it.
I'm
How
going
dare
there.
you?
I'm
How
going
dare
there.
you turn this conversation to that? What?
Why are you going to make me turn off my phone? Like, I promise you, I'm not going to have a full out conversation in the middle of your play, but you want me to turn off my phone for you? You
Listen,
know that phone is a part of me.
first of all, you all are not paying to be slightly okay, you're paying for the experience, right?
I want my
We
phone to
are
have
no,
the
we are
experience.
submerging theater people, concert people, we are submerging you in an experience. You understand? Okay? And we cannot deal with, we are giving you everything. We can see into the audience, y'all. Okay? And
Like a mess.
the most infuriating thing is to be in the middle of a performance. I'll tell you two things. To be in the middle of a performance on stage and look down and you are giving it a Tony Award winning performance, a Grammy Award winning performance, and you glance down and you see this. And it don't be nobody. They don't need to
Or
talk to you. Why didn't you text them before you walked in the theater? Or you have a professional photographer that you have paid good money for to take pictures of the performance. And then when you get the pictures back, all you see is this. So we got pictures of people taking pictures. I went to a play here in the city. I was livid because I watched somebody take their iPad. It wasn't even their cell phone.
first of
They
all,
taped the whole play like this. Okay? It wasn't even a show I was directing. And I spent more time because we were like slightly behind them, me and a friend of mine. And I spent the whole time glaring at this person because I'm just like, you just go. And she held the iPad the entire time, like a steady cam. I'm like, first of all, ma'am, this play is copyrighted and is not allowed to be recorded without special permission. Number two, and then at one point I was like looking around for the ushers, okay? To like, I was like, come and get this lady. The whole play, Gina, the whole play. And I think it is like for performers, when we go into that space and we want for people to get the whole thing, especially when you're doing like plays, there are certain things, there are nuances and stuff we want you to catch. We want you to catch our facial expressions and our blocking, and then to look down or to see your performance, because this is the other thing that happens sometimes. You have singers or comedians or whatever that may have a bad night and it's viral, right? Mm-hmm. And then everybody is just like, oh, we're not going to see so-and-so, or, oh, Dave Chappelle is garbage, or, oh, Cat Williams is trash. And you're like, no, you just happen to catch him on a bad night. And so what a lot of theaters are doing now, man, they either make you give that joint up at the door.
I'm not giving up my phone.
Or they give you a little pouch to put it in, and the pouch locks. So you have it with you and you can see stuff, but you can't like answer it.
So first of all, that pouch is beastly because I went and toured a place
Yeah.
and they were like, you can't use the phone. Here's your pouch. Do you know that at some point I was just like, I'm gonna open up this pouch a little bit. And I
You
was like,
cannot get into that
you
pouch.
cannot open
No,
that.
you
And it
cannot open
doesn't
the pouch.
feel that sturdy until you try to open it. You
It's
cannot,
impossible.
you can't open that pouch. But that being said, I think there's a little bit of narcissism with,
Mm-mm.
well, because think
Mm-mm.
about it like this.
Mm-mm.
You don't hear the crime shows or murder mysteries talking about, I can't believe Danita's not giving me 100% while I'm putting on this grand show on the television. No, because it's your white noise. How do you know the theater is not I paid the money?
No, because you know why? Because patrons of the arts are the ones that leave our shows and say, Danita did not give us 100% on the stage. And that is our reputation that's out there. That is what you take with you. And that word of mouth, if somebody stops watching television, it takes a whole lot of people to stop watching a show for it to get canceled.
It
It
does.
takes one person to walk out of a theater show and call it trash, whether it's a critic or a person that you hold in high regard, for the theater to start losing money because people don't want to go based off of, the experience that they had. Now, that being said, I co-wrote a show for Destin Lamar called Barcode.
Mm-hmm.
And in it, there is one specific piece where he tells the people to take their cell phones out.
Okay.
And encourages the audience to take selfies and this, that, and the other. And then you hashtag Barcode in that portion of the show. And then, it goes up on social media or whatever. In fact, one of my favorite things to do is that when he was actually doing the show in different places, mm-hmm. because I knew the show so well and I knew what time the show started, mm-hmm. right around the time I knew that scene was up, I would look up the hashtag Barcode on Instagram and Facebook, and I was able to see what the audience looked like for that night. That was mad cool. But what was cool about that was the fact that the whole scene was based off of the fact that people were too connected to their phones. And so you're taking your phone out and you're taking selfies or whatever from your phone. And then by the time you get to the end of the scene, you feel like trash. Because you were at the ready to take your phone out and take it or whatever. So it was a neat way to use art to kind of explore the fact that we need to be more connected. And even you said it earlier.
We need to be more connected with human beings, not necessarily.
Being more connected, and you need to be more in the moment. I think, as weird and as eclectic it might sound, theater and concerts are very in the moment. We as performers want you to be a part of that whole experience.
They are.
And that is who we are as performers, whether we're introverts or extroverts. At that moment that we're on stage, we are seeking a physical, in the moment connection with our audience. And that joint is broken because let me tell you, just as annoying as it is, if you were on a date and your date, while you were trying to tell them about your day, the whole time is like this. It's the same thing for us when we're on stage.
I don't think
if for us, when we see that, it's just like there's a disconnect immediately. It takes us out of the moment. And we thrive, performers, we thrive on being in that moment when we're live. So I don't care what you do if you watch it on TV.
I didn't think about it like that. I may have to be a little bit more considerate because I didn't realize that it was a bi-directional connection when you go to the arts. I thought it was just, I thought the actors would come on the stage, they would do their thing because that was what they were there to do. And that we were just many empty faces in the audience that they didn't necessarily focus on because
theater.
they had this story to tell.
No, theater is very much
about it. When you all go on the stage, how many times have you seen somebody, or you've been that person where you go on the stage and that person just I cannot live to see, they're looking up and I'm just like, who's up there? Ain't nobody up there. I'm down here.
Oh, so but we feed off of the audience energy. What's so funny is that one of the main conversations we say, especially if you're doing a multiple show run, one of the main conversations that every performer has at the end of every single show, and there is no performer out there that has never had this conversation during a multi-show run. They have an audience conversation. How was the audience tonight? There have been times where, as a performer, actors will come off stage and be like, "Ooh, it's a rough one out there. They're tight tonight." Meaning that they're not giving anything back. They're not giving you any energy back. They're dead, or they're not laughing at the jokes. There have been other times as a director where I'll get to intermission and I'll run back in the back and I'm just like, y'all, this audience is dope. Like, this audience is better than last night's audience. You have favorites. You have certain audience that come during a multi-show run that you're like, this is the best audience we've had. There are other shows where you're just like, this audience is garbage. And it'll be because either they're disconnected or they're not connecting with the performance itself. But one of the reasons why theater people like theater is because of the instantaneous response. You will find more theater people, a true theater person. Could we do television? Yes. Could we do film? Sure. But we love the fact that we hear you laughing now, or we hear you clapping now, or we hear you go now. Like, we thrive off of that. We thrive on having to pause through the reactions of the audience. So when you add phone to that, or you add a ringing phone to that, like I'm in the middle of a big scene, iPad. Right, or a whole iPad, or I'm in the middle of a big scene, and all of a sudden you hear do, and you're like, it's your phone, ma'am. Your purse is ringing. That's the thing I get with people, is that their phone will be ringing, and then they'll be like,
then they pick it up, and then they can't figure out how to turn it off.
Right.
That drives me crazy.
Like, you're the only one with the Beyonce ringtone, ma'am. Turn it off.
So maybe the next time you make that announcement that you want me to disown a part of myself and turn it off, why don't you say why? People are more compliant with anything in life if they understand the why behind it. And honestly, if I knew that it wasn't just a directive, if I knew it was just like, I need you to pay attention. I need you in order to feed off of your emotions and your reactions in order to make me a better actor, I'd be like, I will give that to you. I just get turn off your joints. And I'll be like, you're not going to tell me.
And then there's that other piece where we're just like, we don't need to see this on the internet. We're still in the process of making sure.
Put me in the KSC.
We don't need to see this whole original performance on the internet. Like, this song has not been released.
Yeah.
I will have to figure out a creative way to let the audience know that in order for us to connect with you, patrons of the arts, we are asking that you turn off your cell phone.
Oh, that's so artsy.
Isn't it though? What's our seed of substance?
Always give the why.
No, the seed of substance is figure out how to put your phone down. How did you end up? That is such a backward seed of substance. Like, the why? No, put your phone down. Put it down. Put it down and turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off.
Look, and then wipe it down, because it's got bacteria on it. That's a whole.
Y'all not
ready for that infection control. So nobody's ready.
You know what I'm excited about?
What is that?
We got through this whole episode and didn't talk about the movie The Game once. Let's get this water.
Girl, let me tell you something. Me and this water gonna fight. It's something about trying to drink water when it's like 2 degrees outside. Like, it's just not. I think I'm just gonna walk around with a teapot for the winter. Ooh, so I guess that water's not getting.
Let's get this teapot. It don't have the same ring to it. Gotta get this water.
Let me get this water.
Get this water, girl.
Water is here.
Bye, girl.
Bye, girl. Walking pneumonia, double pneumonia, those are not official diagnoses. I need for some.
Wait, are they not?
No, and I need for people to stop saying walking and double pneumonia, just like I need for people to stop saying sugar diabetes.